keep working towards your goals. Don't be afraid of changing decisions and not knowing what you want to do. Just keep following your heart. Just go wherever life takes you, You might think you're going to do one thing, but things change. So I would just say keep it pushing. Keep doing what you do.
There are countless experiences known to bring people together in our community. And if you're anything like us, one of those experiences was sitting down in somebody's kitchen or their living room and getting your hair done.
These moments bring us together because of the conversation, inspiration, and deep connection shared between the people in these spaces that truly can't be recreated in many other spaces.
We welcome you all into this space with us to connect with, learn from, and be inspired by some of the most exceptional people this world has to offer. And our first guest today is exactly that, the definition of exceptional. Founder and CEO of the successfully growing natural hair care brand, D.Monet's Organics, our guest was able to create a name for herself in the face of adversity and build a sustainable community of people enhancing their natural hair experience the D.Monet way. She's a dear friend of mine, and there quite literally was nobody else I could have thought of to come in on this first episode of the show. So without further ado, let's welcome the one and only Denia Campbell.
Hello. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
We are blessed to have you here today.
Yes, I appreciate it.
Key aspect of this show, as mentioned before, is the hair aspect and getting your hair done in these spaces with us. So every guest that comes on this show is going to leave with a new do. So Denia, before we get into the conversation, let's get you washed.
Hey.
So we got to start it off with the very first question. What got you started with this business? How was that for you starting it up?
So I want to say the reason I started was, if you remember the whole eco-styler thing where everyone's like, don't use eco-styler, it's bad for your hair, it's cancer-causing agents, all that good stuff. My dad was like, why don't you just try and make your own gel? So I was like, okay, you're on to something. So that's when I started off with the flaxseed gel. That was my first product.
Okay.
And
Bomb,
that's
my
really...
man. Sorry. Bomb.
When I started it, I didn't think I would be making a natural hair care line. I just was like, let me make some flaxseed gel. Let me get some quick money,
Right.
And then people started to like it. And then I started the deep conditioner, my herbal spray, and then it just expanded from there. So honestly, I would say my dad is the one that influenced me to start it. And it's become something I could never have imagined it would be.
Nice. So when you started to make your products, where did you get your inspiration from?
I used YouTube a lot in the beginning. So flaxseed gel isn't something that I created. It's not something that's original. A lot of people on YouTube do it, but you can do it however you want. So basically when you boil the flax seeds, it just makes that slimy gel. Anytime that you put it on the stove, it's just whatever else you add to enhance it. So that I really used YouTube to help. But when I really started to expand my line, I actually did a lot of webinars from people who do cosmetic creation. So either skincare, hair care, anything. I bought ebooks and they just showed you how to do all of the chemistry behind formulating products. So that probably didn't happen until 2 years in to my business. In the beginning, I was just mixing stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, shea butter's good for your hair. Oils are good for your hair. Let me see what I can make.
Right.
But yeah, the ebooks and the webinars and all of that really is what helped me figure out how to actually formulate products.
Okay. Very, very nice. Now I was going to ask, I remember we were talking earlier about how you originally used to tell your customers to put it in the refrigerator.
Yes.
So talk a little bit more about that.
Yes. When I first started, the flaxseed gel was one of them. I did not use any preservatives because at the time, you know, I was like, I want to make chemical-free products. Like, I just want them to be like literally all natural.
Right.
And I came to realize, you know, things can still be natural with chemicals. You just have to be very particular about what chemicals you're using. So yeah, flaxseed gel, my Shea Butter and Honey Deep Conditioner. I had my customers putting it in the fridge. I thought, you know, that's the best way to preserve it. And it worked in the beginning, but it just wasn't, it's not the most logical thing to have them do. So gotcha. I'm glad I kind of moved away from that.
Okay. Speaking of that, were there any other setbacks, you know, just as far as, you know, your business is concerned, or, you know, when you first started out, like what were some of the biggest challenges you came across?
I think the biggest one was the lack of space, because my dad used to get frustrated because I was taking up the kitchen. He's like, what are you doing? Like, we need to cook dinner and you're taking up the space. You know, I don't have like a space to make my product. So that was the first big thing. Other than that, it's just really growing your audience and getting people to really believe in the products, because there are so many hair products out there that you can go buy from Target, the beauty supply store. So getting a group of people to actually feel like, what makes this brand stand out, or why should I believe that these are going to work for my hair? Why do I believe she knows what she's doing to even know what I'm putting in my hair? So getting a group of people to actually see like, okay, these work. She's explaining what she puts in it and why it benefits your hair. That was a challenge in the beginning, but I feel like once I had those people and they had my trust, it became easier. But definitely, just like social media presence, that's still always hard, because you always have to come up with content. You always have to, you know, you don't want people to forget about you, because like I said, they can go to any other store to go pick up something. So I think those were the biggest challenges, just making myself believe in myself and then making other people believe in the products.
Okay, nice. And so you said you started this up when you were in college, right?
I did.
What year were you?
I want to say I was a sophomore.
I
started my sophomore year because I started like really wanting to grow my hair like out of the blue. I just was like, I want to try every product in the store. I want to see what's gonna work, and I was spending so much money. And then when my dad was like, make your own, I was like, okay. So I started sophomore year. I was selling them in like my dorms. Morgan was getting some stuff.
I was one of the first customers, y'all. That flaxseed got me right.
Yes, I was just going from dorm to dorm, from door to door, you know. Selling my stuff. I really had my containers were not like this. My packaging was so different. I was buying containers from Dollar Tree. My mom was printing labels on like pieces of paper from her job. I didn't have a logo. It was just like smacked on there, like, here's some flaxseed gel, $5. Like, here you go. So yeah, started in the dorms and came a long way.
Nice. And how was that for you? So like, I know you played basketball. How was that managing a full-time business while being in school, staying on top of classes, practice, workouts, games? How did you manage all that?
It was a lot, honestly. I think I'm just always so used to doing so many things, which isn't always a good thing. But I grew up, you know, playing so many different sports, always managing my time. So it was difficult because sometimes I felt like I couldn't keep up with my business, because at the end of the day, school came first. I was at school for basketball as well, so my business was always kind of on the back burner. But I found ways to manage my time. Like, any free time that I had, I put toward the business. I got my friends to help me like take pictures of the products for my website in the dorm room. One friend, she does photography, so she was just taking some pictures. We're like, hey, we're gonna do whatever we can, just put a white background, figure something out. So it was a lot. It was a lot, but definitely I always wonder how my business would be today if I just focused all my energy on it compared to doing school and basketball and running a business. So it's a lot. It's taxing, but it's rewarding. So I just keep doing it.
Can I kind of interject on that?
Yes, of
I
course.
do want to say that watching you go through that process also was very, very inspiring for me to even think or consider having a business of my own, just because
Thank you.
I saw, like, you know, when you see your friends doing something kind of life-changing in a way, like when you go to school, you don't think, oh, I'm going to start a business, especially as a biology major. Like, you're thinking, go to lab, I got this orgo test. Like, I'm about to just study and go to sleep.
Yeah.
But seeing how you kept up with it and you perfected your craft, well, you mastered your craft, and just watching this whole process has been amazing.
Thank you. Yes, you've seen it all. You've seen every stage that the products were in. How I started off with just 4 products, and now I don't even know how many because it's too many to count.
Going into bath bars now.
Yes.
You got soaps, candles.
Yeah. It's a one-stop shop now.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That is the goal.
I know a lot of, when you start up a business, like you said, there's so many challenges that you come across. There's so many things that might get in the way that might discourage you. And so a lot of people, when they start a new business, the people say that you need to have a why, because otherwise if you don't, you either lose interest, you lose motivation. You know, you need something that'll keep you going when times get tough. So I want to know, like, what is your why for this business?
Yeah, I think my why has definitely been influenced by all of the people who let me know that I've really like changed their hair journey and their hair, not just myself. So I would say, just like for me personally, my business has made me love my hair more, which makes me love myself more, because natural hair, you know, can be a thing where people, you know, you either love your natural hair or you're like, no, I just don't feel like dealing with it all the time. So I feel like with my business, it really made me like this, like I really love doing this. I really love seeing how my hair transforms. I really love helping other people. And I think that's really the thing, is helping other people and really wanting to have them, you know, get some help with their hair, because not everyone knows what their hair wants, what their hair needs. So I think that's definitely been my why. And then seeing that I love doing it, if I'm up all night until 2 a.m. making products, I'm like, it's all worth it. So
that's beautiful.
Yes, it's a lot, but I'm like, it's worth it. I see how much I'm able to create in one day. I literally drive to New Jersey for a weekend to make everything.
Oh, wow.
And I do not do anything else except make products. So yeah, I'm like, you know, the fact that I'm working these many hours on my business, it shows me that I really do love doing it, and I can see myself just doing that as a career if I can.
Okay.
So I think that's my life.
With you saying that, my mentor, she mentioned to me that one of the greatest signs of a great business and a great businesswoman, specifically a business person, but is their ability to kind of get outside themselves and be of service to others. So the fact that your why is your customer base and the service that you are providing for them, for their hair, for their, you know, I don't want to say their personality, but you know what I mean? Like their self-worth, the way they look at themselves. You're helping them feel better about themselves, feel better about their hair. And there's so many people out here that just don't love their hair, or they're trying to learn to love their hair, but they don't know where to start. And you're giving them kind of that first step. You're giving them solutions. You're giving them a way to love themselves more, love their hair more.
Yeah, because it's a difficult thing to navigate when you have no clue how to do your hair, what to put in your hair, you know, just following what people tell you to use.
You go in the store,
3
aisles of hair products, and 2 of them are directed to Black people. You don't really know which one got the products that are going to hurt it, help it, the alcohol.
Just picking and choose. You're like, eeny, meeny, which one am I getting? So yeah, I think that's definitely played such a big part. And so many people, they're like, I wear my natural hair more because like it's actually defined. It's actually not frizzy. It's actually growing and stuff. So that's so motivating.
And now, have you experienced any differences? Because you know everybody has all different types of hair: 4C, 4B, A, 3, 9, right? So how has that been like all across the board? Do you find that you have different feedback from different people, or does everyone like kind of just feel, you know, is this like an all-in-one, like you know?
It's definitely has definitely been a challenge too, because I have a certain hair type, and that actually I didn't mention it earlier, but definitely was a challenge, because when you start a hair care brand, they're just gonna think like it's just gonna work for your hair or your hair type or characteristics. So I had to really like showcase that it works for all hair types, not just what my hair looks like, because everyone's hair doesn't look like mine.
Right.
Everyone doesn't have the same characteristics that my hair has. Everyone's unique. So that was definitely a challenge to really like showcase. Yes, it works on 4B hair, 4A hair, 3C, 3B, anything.
Yeah.
So I think what I really did for that is to get brand ambassadors that have different types of hair, so that they're making content for me, and people were like, okay, like it's not just working on her hair, it's working on my hair too. So I think having the two collections, this classic collection and my hibiscus collection, I get different feedback. The hibiscus collection's more so people who have really dry hair, really dull hair, need some shine. So a lot of people gravitate toward that.
Yeah.
And the classic collection, I would say, is more like low porosity hair, more to the normal, not super duper dry. So I do get different feedback, but I think it works for people in different ways.
Okay. But I did want to ask too, would you say that your priorities have changed at all from when you first started off your business to like now?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I think now that I have more of a like Instagram presence, and I'm trying to do like the TikTok thing too, it's definitely changed, because before my goal was just let me try and reach as many people as possible so they know about my product. And now I feel like I'm just trying to educate more as well, and I'm trying to always just stay relevant in some way rather than just trying to reach as many people. Like I have so many loyal customers that always keep coming back. So I just keep going into that. Like I'm like, I don't need it's going to reach people when it reaches people. But, my priorities now is really to I love to rebrand. I always have different ideas. Always coming up with something new. I have something for like the new year, so I'm excited about that. So my priorities are just constantly like, I'm trying to keep it together with all of these. I just have so many ideas, and I just always want to just put it out there.
Okay.
So yes.
So you said you have something for the new year. That was actually going to be my next question. What are you working on anything new at the moment?
I am.
You can share. It might be a secret. But
So right now I'm doing a 12 days of Christmas promotion. So until Christmas Eve, I will be coming out with like a new promo or sales, discounts, little like stocking stuffer, cute things like that. So that's what I'm working on now. And for the new year, I don't have any new like product releases, but I will be coming out with something new. I'll keep it quiet for now, but I do have something. I do have something new coming out, a little bit different from what I already sell. And then I also will be working on promoting my natural hair coaching service a little bit more. I started that a little bit ago, but I don't do too much with it because my main thing is my products.
Right.
So I definitely will be tapping into that a little bit more for the new year.
Okay. Now tell us go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry. I actually, before we move on, want to touch back on the fact that you said you have so many loyal customers who keep coming back. I feel like that really speaks to, one, your products, but two, you as a person, because a lot of times when people buy into businesses, they're not just buying into the products, they're buying into the person behind it. How does that make you feel to know that there are so many people that keep coming back to you, that keep buying your products, that promote your products without you having to ask, that really promote you to the world and everything that you stand for?
Honestly, that's like the biggest blessing, I think, of the whole entire business, just to see that people do continue to come back. People do genuinely like the product, because a lot of people, they'll buy something one time, see how it works.
That's cool.
That was nice, It might have worked, it might not have. Right, me too. So it's like, and for hair products especially, for a moisturizer, you can see results immediately. But something like, if someone's really trying to grow their hair, they can't buy one product from me and think my hair is just going to grow after I use it. Like, it's something that you have to consistently do. Taking care of your hair, it's not going to grow overnight. So for people to trust it, keep coming back, that's what really makes me feel like, the brand is worth it and it works. That's what my dad is like, at first he didn't know. He's like, I don't know, this seems fun and everything. I don't know if this is something you want to continue doing. But once he really seen that people come back, they keep buying products, he's like, this is good. Like, that's big that you're having people come back to you. They want to keep buying from you. So that's like the biggest blessing.
Definitely,
out of
yes.
everything. Yeah, that's the biggest blessing.
Your customer base is your business, essentially. So being able to keep those people, like you said, is super important.
I've noticed you mentioned your dad a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said he gave you the inspiration, but I guess just how big of a factor have your parents and your dad specifically played in your confidence and ability to keep this thing going outside of, you know, just it being a successful business and the money that you can get from it? Like, what do your parents, I guess, signify for you in this way?
They definitely, they do a lot for the business. They help me with ideas. You know, it's even though it's just me, I feel like they play a huge role. My dad, he's like very business minded, so he always has, you know, a say in what I'm doing and like pricing and just like advertisement, and he helps to advertise it a lot. You know, he gets my products into like barbershops, like my beard products. Okay. So he plays a role in that.
Beard oil.
Yes, beard oil. He is always advertising for me. So yeah, he definitely plays a huge role. My mom too. She's always helping with like when I'm restocking. It's chaotic in the kitchen, so she's always there helping me. So yeah, they play a huge role. You know, they're very invested in my business. I can definitely say, as time has gone by, they are very, very invested. My dad is like he's always like, let's buy this for your business. He's the one who got the brushes. He's the one who started off the brushes for me. Got them shipped over from China, so he started that off. That's amazing. And he's always looking for the newest thing that I can add to my website. So they play such a big role in my business for sure.
So where do you see D.Monet Organics in like the next, say, 5 years? You know?
Yeah, 5 years. I have so many plans. I need to make it happen. But I think the biggest is to continue just making my social media presence. You know, I want to reach so many people. So increasing that. I definitely want to see if I can get my products into some more stores. I have it in a few like beauty supply stores, but I do want to try and branch out to like some bigger stores.
I was just gonna ask Target, Walmart.
Yes. So definitely that, and I know there's like steps before I could even get that far, like having a chemist tested and everything like that. Okay. So just the logistics. My biggest goal is to have like a natural hair salon. I'm not good at doing hair. So I would just, I definitely want to have like a natural hair salon where only my products are being used. Nice. And I feel like it's so hard to find natural hair salons, especially people that, know how to do natural hair and can cut like curly hair, kinky hair. Right. Not really focusing on straightening, but keeping the hair curly, doing different like flexi rod sets, twist outs, flat twists, all that. So that's my biggest goal, Get some products into some stores, open a natural hair salon, and then eventually, might not be 5 years, but I need a lab. I need something. I need a bigger space.
That warehouse in there.
Yeah.
Yes. And speaking of spaces, so I want to talk on the topic of pop-up shops. What do you think about those? And have you been to a pop-up shop? I have, yes. How was that for you?
I really love pop-up shops. I think they're a really good opportunity to really get yourself out there and get your face in front of people that haven't heard of your brand before. Right. I've done a lot of pop-up shops, some successful, some not successful, but I feel like it's always a good opportunity to network with other entrepreneurs that are there. Definitely. Give your business card out, even if they're not buying from you, just so that they have that in their back pocket. Tell a friend. But I think pop-up shops can be really successful.
What are some connections or opportunities that have come from the pop-up shops? Like, have you met anybody in particular that really stood out to you?
Yeah, so I did one actually at McDaniel, and that was where I was able to meet some people where they're like, I have a beauty supply shop, like put your products in here, or I work at a salon, like we would want to get your products. So I've gotten connects in that sense. Some people they really know where all the pop-up shops are going to be, and they're like, look, go here, it'll be successful for you. So a lot of entrepreneurs that I've been able to network with have been able to point me in the right direction, give me tips and tricks and all that. So yeah, I have like all their business cards like in a stack from all of my pop-up shops. So I've reached a lot of people, and it's really helpful.
How do you define success? What does success mean to you and your business and just what you're doing?
Yeah, I think success to me means being able to provide and, live on my terms. Definitely not, I don't want to say living check to check, but being a college student, living out of state, I lived a certain way. And now I feel like with my business, I feel like being successful, I'm able to do more things. I'm able to provide for my family, provide for myself, and just live a certain way. And also just success to me means reaching so many people that I'm able to help them out. And success is their hair growing, their hair getting healthier, their hair seeing the results. So I definitely think that's success. I really want to just help as many people as I can. So.
Okay, I love that. Yes. When you talk about like just the customers and keeping them around, do you ever feel like a pressure like with gaining more customers, or do you feel kind of sufficient with the customer base that you have right now?
Yeah, I definitely want to keep growing. That's the biggest goal. I do appreciate all the loyal customers that continue to come back and continue to keep buying.
You mentioned earlier that one of your biggest things is keeping customers engaged. Just the return of customers always coming back to you, which is great. So I know in real estate, when I'm looking to get new clients or add new people into my network, there's sometimes a pressure there to grab new people. So how has that experience been with you? With obviously, are you content with the customers that you have, and how have how has that pressure been with, or if there's any pressure at all with grabbing those new customers?
Yeah, there's definitely a pressure there. I always appreciate everyone that continues to come back and continue to buy from me, because I do think that's what it takes to have a successful business. You don't want a bunch of, one and dones.
Right.
But it definitely is a pressure to keep getting people to come. And I do, like you said, the pop-up shops, I really think that has helped to really branch out, because you're really putting your face or your brand in front of a bunch of people who have never heard of your brand before.
Right.
So I think that's kind of been one way to help deal with the pressure. Social media always helps, because you're always getting new followers, and your friends and your family or other supporters are promoting like flyers and promotions that you're having, and then other people see it that don't follow you.
Right.
So I think that's a way to grab some new customers. Definitely social media. I think TikTok, I'm trying to navigate that.
Yes.
But I think that's a really good way to put yourself out there and really just grab new customers. It's a pressure for sure, because when I'm making content, I don't want to keep posting the same people that are buying from me. But it is also good, because it kind of shows that like before and after, like they've been buying from me from the start. They're still buying now. Like, where's their hair care journey at? So yeah, there's definitely a pressure with it, but I think there's ways around it. And day by day, I'm always celebrating the small wins. If I ship to a new state, that's always a good thing, I'm like, oh, I haven't shipped to that state before, like yes. That's always a plus. So those like the small wins are always helpful to keep you going and keep you like, okay, like I'm not only selling to the same people. There's a new customer. Oh, this new customer just placed a $100 order. Like, oh my goodness, it's your first time and you're spending a lot. Like,
exactly. So
yeah, I think there's ways to navigate it, and you have to use those small wins as motivation to keep going, or else you're kind of like, am I stagnant? Am I growing? So
definitely. Yeah. And now with getting that attention, from those customers and those people, have you gotten any attention from any, I guess, so-and-so celebrities or influencers, with social media or in person? You know?
I haven't touched any celebrities. That my dad, he really is like, you need to just ship your stuff to some celebrities and, hope that they can just make a video. And I'm like, I wish it was that simple.
Right.
I wish it was that simple. But influencers for sure. That's really what I've used TikTok for. Like I did one TikTok saying like I was looking for brand ambassadors or like content creators. So I do a lot of gifted collaborations, since I'm not at the point to be paying them like for post every day.
Definitely.
So I'll gift them with like free products. They make content for me. So yeah, definitely been able to reach a lot of like influencers.
Okay.
Not celebrities yet, but
Okay. Any notable influencers?
Call them out right now.
Yeah, celebrities. Shout out.
I know, right? No, not like No, not any like known ones, I want to say.
Okay.
I'm still working on it. I feel like I have a lot of people that are in like the curly hair world or like the natural hair community that are like, you know, they're trying to become like lifestyle creators or curly hair content creators. So they're making stuff for me, but working on it. Definitely working on it always.
As you should.
Actually, I do kind of want to go back to that pop-up shop aspect that you said too. I believe you were going to farmers markets as well in New Jersey.
Okay. I was.
Those are local for where you live, right?
Yeah.
So how has your home community, like you started this away from home,
right.
How has your home community been able to show you, you know, support and really get behind what you do? Like you do drop-offs, don't you?
I sure do.
How has your home been able to show that support in your own community?
Yeah, they definitely have shown a tremendous amount of support. I started off obviously at Stevenson making the products, so out of state, like you said, and once I got back home, I was promoting like drop-offs and pickups. You know, people avoid the shipping fee because a lot of people, you know, don't want to pay for shipping. I don't blame them. So I think that also helped to really entice people like, okay, like I know her, I went to high school with her, or I played on a basketball team with her. Like, let's see if these work. And I really have a solid community of people. Like they'll show up to the farmers markets when I am there and buy products while I'm home. So yeah, they definitely support me a lot. And I would say my strongest obviously is here and in New Jersey, like as far as customer base. But yeah, my home, I have a bunch of cousins that use my products from New Jersey. I have a bunch of friends that I went to high school with that now use all my things. So definitely a solid foundation in New Jersey.
That's amazing to hear too, because a lot of the times you hear people like nobody from where you grew up actually wants to see you win, and it's usually those hometown people that be the biggest haters. So to hear that you have people in your hometown that are really getting behind you, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and then my family, that makes it even better because since my family is from New Jersey, they're always putting me out there. Like my aunts and uncles, if they come across somebody like, you know, that it comes up with like beard or hair care, they're like, oh, like my niece makes hair products. Like here's her business card or here's her website. So they're always putting me in a position to win.
They got the business cards on them.
Yeah, they got the business cards on them. They have the website on them. So they're just always putting me in a position to win and just always letting people know about the brand. So that's what keeps it going.
Say that your network is your net worth. Keep a strong support system around you.
Yep.
And that's really what it's all about. You know, a lot of people, I feel like, especially as entrepreneurs, try to, or they have a mindset of like, I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna get it out the mud. But
it's a community effort.
Yeah, the true entrepreneurshor is a collaboration. It's
can't
a support system.
And at first, I just thought, you know, even though I am the only like CEO or founder, I always thought like, you know, doing it by myself. But I'm really not. Like if it wasn't for all the people who support me, my friends, my family, like nothing would be possible. And my parents have like invested in me financially. We're like, you know, if I'm not able to spend a decent amount of money on new containers, like, you know, they always would do it for me. Or, you know, I had people who helped me just in general, just getting the word out there, getting me sales. So if it wasn't for them, this brand would not be where it is today. So.
How does your faith play into that too? Because
it's
all like all I'm hearing is just blessings on blessings.
It is. Yes, I definitely, my faith plays a huge role into it. I would say just always praying over my brand, just always like writing things down and just really trying to bring it to life. And I don't want to say I have a really religious family, but we all believe in like we're all very faithful. We're all very into all that good stuff. So I definitely think that plays a good role into it. It definitely does. And without that Lord and Savior, I'm telling y'all, I could not be staying up until 2 a.m. making these products. I'm telling y'all.
And I love when you say that you pray over it too, because prayer is powerful. The words that you speak, that goes into every single product that you make, every single post that you make, every single every single dollar you make too. Like it's all there.
It is.
So before the hair brand, you know what? Because, you know, when I started off in college, here I go with the when I, but
it's okay.
When I started off in college, I thought I wanted to be a veterinarian. So that's why I did biology.
Yeah.
You know, I realized I'm like, this analytical chemistry, organic chemistry, yeah, no, it's not it. So
Not
like
for me, yeah.
plans change. Yeah, I think that's kind of like everybody all across the board. So what did you, before you did come up with D.Monet's Organics, what was your like plan? Did you have one? Did you think like you wanted to do something else?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I also majored in biology, and that was to go to physical therapy school. So that was my, that was my plan. I did everything leading up to going to physical therapy school, like for physical therapy school. So all of my past jobs have been in physical therapy. I've have a bunch of hours just in that setting, took classes for physical therapy, like all my prereqs, and things changed. I applied.
What changed your mind?
Yeah, so honestly, I think it got real once I had a few acceptances to physical therapy school. I was just like, I don't know. Like, I was like, is this what I want to do? Is this meant for me? 3 more years of school after I took a 5th year at Stevenson, which was not in the plans at all.
Yeah.
And I think the 5th year is what really changed it as well. Like, once it kind of opened my eyes to other opportunities, my business started doing better. So I was like, do I want to really do physical therapy? I really could do my brand full time. There's other things in the medical field that I've never even researched or knew about. So yeah, I think that changed my mind. It was a little scary once I got the acceptances, and then like school will be starting soon. So I ended up not accepting any of the offers to go to physical therapy school. And now I work at a hospital in Baltimore. Seeing if, I still want to be in the like in that field, the medical field, or if I want to put all my eggs in one basket with my business.
Always go back to that.
Yeah, for sure.
I do want to elaborate because this is also something I might have to bring my mentor on here because she's amazing. But having that biology background adds credibility to you and your business because it shows that, one, you are sourcing organically, so you know what it means for something to truly be organic, and then 2, you know how to put compounds together, you know how to mix stuff so it matches with
that science background,
pH of your hair, all that stuff you need to know.
Everything.
That is true.
It is. Yeah. It's very true, and that's why. That's why I'm always like, it's a good thing, even though I didn't decide to go to physical therapy school. Yeah, that was what the biology degree was for. But it worked out. It worked out, and now it does give me more credibility, like Morgan said.
Definitely.
People are like, okay, like you tapped into the science world. Like you should know what you're mixing.
Right.
You should know. So it definitely does help, and I think I'm still just figuring it all out, seeing what I want to use the degree for, but.
Right.
I'll always turn back to D.Monet's.
Yes, I was going to say, so do you eventually, do you see yourself working at the hospital long term, or is that kind of like just something you're doing to keep stability right now?
Kind of a hard question, just because.
Loaded question, and it was like, are you? Yes.
Yeah. So if I did stay at the hospital long term, I wouldn't want to just stay in the position that I currently have. That was one of the reasons I did accept the position, just because of the opportunity to move up and to change roles, because there's so many employees that work at a hospital. So right now I'm a medical assistant and I'm a secretary to the doctor that I work with. Nice. So I'm kind of doing 2 roles right now, but there's opportunity to move up. Okay. But my goal isn't necessarily to stay there. I really wanted to do it to see how is working in a hospital setting? Could I see myself doing something like that later on? Or what other roles could I do at a hospital? Right. So hopefully I'm not there.
I just want everybody to keep in mind, this girl just said, this woman, this young lady here, just said she works at a hospital right now. So she is working full time. She has her business full time. And if you know anything about working in a hospital, not for the weak.
Hours.
Definitely not.
Not for the lazy. Yes. Okay. It gets very, very real in a hospital setting.
It does. And my hours, so we have a set time. It doesn't typically end up being like an 8. It's usually 8 to 4:30, but it's based on patients. It's based on what happens. It's never a time where I can predict what time I'll be off.
You're like, all right, y'all, it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah, like it's time to go.
Sorry, Albert. Charity, he gonna cook you.
Right. So it's so unpredictable.
Okay.
My doctor, fortunately, she's new, so we're not like bombarded with patients because she's still trying to get her customer base or client. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Clientele up. I'm thinking customers.
I can tell
customers
to Mercy Hospital.
I can tell that this is where your heart and your passion
yes,
is.
because that's all I do.
Keep following that passion, girl. Keep D.Monet alive.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, for sure. And that was another thing with PT school why I was nervous because my dad's like, if you decide to go to PT school, your business, you're not really going to be able to run your business. And he was like, you would kind of have to pick between the two. Paying all that money for PT school, I need to focus on PT school. Like I was able to do it at Stevenson and balance, being a biology major, having a business, playing basketball. But when it comes to PT school,
I heard grad school is like a whole
no joke.
PT school?
Yeah. So
it's
I was
like medical school.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So D.Monet's was not gonna live through PT school. It was, it was one or the other. And then I didn't want to just be like, okay, I'm gonna, abandon the business for 3 years and then pop back like I'm back. Like, it's not gonna work like that. So
I understand.
That definitely played a role in it. And I was like, I don't want to give it up.
Now, do you plan on D.Monet? Do you want to? She mentioned earlier, anybody can just have a product, but I truly believe that you have a very good product. Like I said, right there with Miel Organics, which is my favorite hair brand. They do not disappoint. And when I first tried this deep conditioner, listen, I was like, oh my gosh. Like it just, yes, and my hair just ate it up. It was
so
it's
just
picky. But now that I have Denia looking like Cleo, we're gonna sit her under the dryer for a little bit, and then we'll finish the style. We'll finish up the conversation, and we'll get us wrapped up.
So, moving on to our final question before we get into the 60-60. What would you tell 20-year-old Denia who was just starting this product line in college?
I would definitely just tell her to keep going, even with the adversity, the feeling like, the brand isn't good enough, just to keep pushing through, keep going, and it's going to turn out what you would not expect it to be. And just keep working hard, keep being determined, keep helping people, and it's all going to pay off. So that's definitely what I would tell myself.
Okay, so that's what we would tell 20-year-old Denia.
Yes.
What would we tell 18-year-old Denia? The Denia who just graduated high school, starting college in a brand new state, new environment, away from your parents. I'm sure there were a lot of emotions and thoughts, What were your, just thoughts about your next steps? What would you tell 18-year-old Denia?
I would tell 18-year-old Denia that, you're going to find your group of friends. You're going to find people that you consider family, outside of family at home. You'll find, your community of people. And as far as like the brand, I would just say, or not even the brand, just school in general, I would just say, keep working towards your goals. Don't be afraid of changing decisions and not knowing what you want to do. Just keep following your heart. Just go wherever life takes you. You might think you're going to do one thing, but things change. So I would just say, keep it pushing, keep doing what you do. And
Okay. So perseverance has been probably a big thing for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Can you, just to, elaborate a little bit, what were some key moments where you might have felt like, that may have, or I guess let me rephrase this question. Have there ever been any moments where you doubted yourself or said, maybe this isn't what I want to do? And, how did you overcome that? What was your experience like with that?
Yeah, I definitely had those moments. You have your days where sales might be booming and then you have another day where you don't get a single sale. Or just, it was frustrating in the beginning when I couldn't figure out what's that perfect product formulation. Like, it's trial and error. So definitely had those times where you want to feel like you want to give up or you feel like you're not good enough. But I would definitely just say faith has kept me pushing through to persevere and just keep it going. And then just the support of everyone around me has helped. Because there have been plenty of days where you're like, maybe this isn't for me, or maybe I should try something else, or this isn't going to be successful. It's it's a big competition, you know, the beauty industry, there's a lot of competitors.
Right.
So definitely there's been times where you're like, is this falling short? Is this ever going to be something like big that people actually would want to go buy? So definitely just keeping the faith, staying strong. And then my support system has always just supported me and kind of kept me up, I would say. So.
Gotcha. So you would say your support system is, you know, has been a motivating factor for you in times where you may not have even felt motivated yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Because then, you know, you have them to lean on. And then my parents especially, they're always coming up with new ideas. And then it kind of makes you like motivated again. You're like, oh, like that's a good idea. Like, let's try that. Let's see how it works. And then, you know, it's kind of like a fresh start in a sense. And like I said earlier, I like to do a lot of rebranding. I start to have moments where my creative juices start flowing, and then, you know, you're like, oh, like I can do this, and then you just become motivated again. But I do think I've been really self-motivated for the most part. I did have my family to lean on, but definitely just always coming up with new ideas. It excites me. It makes me feel like, okay, like I can't wait to show everybody this. So that's helped me get through like some of the times where you're like, is this even good enough, or is this even worth it?
What do you do to help keep those creative juices flowing, especially when you find yourself in those ruts where maybe you don't know where your rebrand should go, or you're not sure where that next creative inspiration is going to come from?
So since it's so like random, sometimes I'll just start to have a bunch of ideas, and then sometimes I'll have absolutely none. I've just been trying to get in the habit. I recently bought myself like a planner, like a journal, but for entrepreneurs, so that I'm able to actually like document what I'm thinking at that time. Because I noticed before I would have a good idea like at that instant, but I would forget about it. I'm like, dang, like just had a good idea. My creative juices was flowing and I don't even know what I was thinking. So I use that planner a lot to kind of keep me on track. And now I kind of do like not really a yearly plan, but I try and just document things that I want to accomplish throughout the year in that journal, so that I can come back, figure out like, how do I want to tackle this? How am I going to make this happen? So that kind of keeps me, I guess, organized in a sense, because it can be so random when you just get an idea and you're like, this is going to be great. And sometimes you just don't have an idea at all. And so I have to, 2:00 in the morning, wake up, write it down. Because by the morning, it's out my head.
Right.
So I definitely been using that planner to help me a lot, just to stay more focused and organized. Because before I was just remembering things off the top of my head, but I can't rely on that, especially with running a business. So I definitely would say just writing things down and making it happen.
Okay. So what do you do, or what steps do you take when you do start to feel overwhelmed, you know, with the stresses of the business and just life in general? And I see writing things down is one of them. Do you have any other things you do?
I would say just sometimes I have to take a minute to just relax, because I feel like I'm always doing something, and I don't always take the time for myself to just chill, watch TV, do some self-care, face mask, something. So sometimes I'm just too occupied doing things, and I'll get overwhelmed. So I'm like, let me just take some time to myself to just do some like self-care things, and kind of get my mind off of everything that I have to do, because that's something I do. I'm always thinking about the next thing I have to do. And I feel like a lot of people are like that. So yeah, just some like self-care things, like online shopping, retail therapy is always nice. That'll do it. Might not be cost worthy, but look, I'll do it. Yes,
gonna make it work.
Sure. We're gonna make it work. So yeah, I kind of just like to do a lot of self-care things, get my mind off of it, and then kind of regroup, come back to it, especially when I'm like having my creative juice is just not flowing, and I'm like, I need some ideas, and sometimes I have like a little, I guess they call it like a brain fart or something.
Yep, it happens. You just gotta tune out for a second.
Yeah.
Take a break.
Regroup and come back.
Entrepreneurship. Yep.
And then with you using social media, a lot of debate these days is about social media use and how it may not be necessarily the best thing for our mental health. How do you keep yourself in a positive space with what you put out there, and just allowing yourself to keep coming back to platforms that definitely can, I've had experiences where they get pretty toxic in a way.
Yeah, definitely. I try and do like batch creation so that I'm doing everything at once, especially more so with TikToks, I want to say. So instead of constantly having to go on TikTok, make a video, do it again tomorrow, like keep doing it every single day, it can be really draining. So when I'm just like feeling up to it, I'll create a bunch of things. Like I'll take a bunch of product pictures with like I just use my phone and like I have like a mini photo studio. So I'll just knock a bunch of those out, make a few TikToks, make a few videos of me talking, and then kind of just make everything in a few hours. I feel like that kind of has helped me. I've been doing that recently so that I'm not constantly feeling like, oh my God, I have to post. Like, I got to come back tomorrow. Yeah. And when I get off work, I don't even feel like making a video, but it's already in my draft. So all I got to do is click post, make a caption, and I'm good. So that's helped a lot with like the draining aspect of social media because it can be a lot.
Definitely.
It can be a lot, so.
And then with it being such a competitive industry that you are in, like, do you ever feel, or I guess, how do you manage and stay true to who you are as not necessarily D.Monet, but Denia Campbell? Like, you have your own personal image that you want to put out there for people. You have like, it's your brand, it's your family, it's your name. Like, how do you stay true to yourself?
To myself, yeah. I would just say continue. Like, for me, I'm so big on just like being who I am and not changing to like fit a certain image. So I feel like that's always been one thing that I have stayed true to, like no matter the business, no matter college, like I would just, keep doing what I do and not really let much influence that. So I think that's really like my mantra, and I do stay true to it, and that kind of helps me maintain like my image just as an individual, not as just like a business owner. Even though I do think my business like is a lot of my identity, but I definitely think just staying true to myself, my values, my morals, all that, that's what keeps me pushing every day.
As I finish these pages, yes, nobody can do you better than you can do.
Yes, that's the best part.
How do you like yours? Like sometimes I get dramatic. Some people like
whatever you can do. All I know how to do is swoops. So,
So Denia, we are reaching the final segment of the show today, the 60-60, where you'll have 60 seconds to reflect on everything we kind of talked about today and offer any pieces of advice that would want the audience to know. I'm going to leave the floor to you, so whenever you're ready.
All right. I want to end this show just by talking about a few things that I feel like are good life lessons and advice that really can apply to anything: business, school, work, family. First thing I want to say is to really embrace the failures that you have in life. We all need them in order to grow. We all need them in order to move forward. So really embrace them and use them to keep moving forward. And then the next thing I want to touch on is celebrating the small wins, and that goes for anything. So, a win is a win, trust the process, and progress is progress, little or big. So definitely just wanted to touch on those. And then as far as that goes, you guys know I'm here celebrating D.Monet's Organics, and I thank you guys for having me. But check out our website. It's www.dmonetsorganics.com. You can find body care products, candles, hair care, and then some hair care accessories as well. So if you are a natural girl, if you have beard, for all my men, go ahead and check our website out.
That concludes our show for today. I want to thank Denia. It was an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
You did great. I love being in conversation with you. Brianna, you were amazing. You asked some great questions, and I really feel like there was a lot of good things shared between all of us at this table today, which really speaks to why we're doing this in the first place, because there really is nothing like getting your hair done and having a good-ass conversation. So with that, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.